One of Iggy's elite investors asked me to run a full forensic audit on their actual portfolio. Livelifefreely is 50 years old, in the critical pre-retirement window, and 60% of their capital is sitting in 4 positions that the market calls solid. I ran the numbers and 3 of those 4 positions fail my minimum yield hurdle before we even get to the balance sheet. My job is simple, even if the balance sheet is not. I read the numbers that the headline skips, the interest coverage, the gearing, the free cash flow sustainability, so that the Singaporean building or living of a dividend portfolio gets the same forensic clarity that institutional money takes for granted. This is about how your hard-earned capital is actually allocated. Here is who we are auditing. Livelifefreely is 50 years old, self-described as having an iron stomach, with a stated goal of balanced growth and dividends. The forensic reality is a serious mismatch between that self-assessment and what the numbers actually show. We are auditing 60% of the portfolio today, 20% in Yangzi Financial, 15% in Bausted, 15% in Sembcorp, and 10% in Yangzi Shipbuilding. Before we go stock by stock, here is the headline. 3 of the 4 audited positions fail my minimum yield hurdle of 4.7%. The largest position is paying dividends out of a deteriorating earnings base, not from operating income. And the second largest named holding is sitting at 52.84% gearing, which is deep inside Zone 5 red zone territory. Only 1 position out of 4 passes every hard gate cleanly. And this is the part that should stop you. There are no sanctuary assets in this portfolio. Nothing here pays safe, reliable yield from a clean, transparent earnings base. There is zero exposure to prime local banks or Singapore REITs, the instruments that anchor net asset value through cycles. This is not a risk tolerance problem. It is a structural architecture failure. Livelifefreely's iron stomach is being tested not because of a bold contrarian bet, but because the portfolio has no structural flaw under it. Before we audit each position, let me explain the scanner I am running them through. My forensic flaw sits at 3.2%, exactly 180 basis points above the current 6-month T-bill rate of 1.4% as of May 2026. That gap matters because it is the minimum compensation you should demand for taking equity risk at all. My minimum yield hurdle is 4.7%, which adds a mandatory 1.5% risk premium on top of that flaw. Here is the number that makes this concrete. CPF Special Account pays 4.0% guaranteed. Any equity position yielding below 4.7% is being beaten by a government instrument you already have access to. Here is the full picture across all 4 positions. Yangzi Financial at 20% weight, 14.08% headline yield, but funded from capital, not earnings. Bausted at 15%, 2.50% normalized forward yield, which fails even the 3.2% forensic flaw. Sembcorp at 15%, 4.10% yield, gearing at 52.84%, interest coverage ratio at 2.5 times, 3 simultaneous hard gate failures. And Yangzi Shipbuilding at 10%, 5.08% yield, gearing 9.79%, interest coverage ratio 77.3 times. 1 clean pass. Smallest weight. Yangzi Financial is your largest position at 20% of the audited portfolio, and it is the most urgent problem in this audit. Your entry was at 34 Singapore cents. The stock now sits at 24 Singapore cents, a 29% capital decline. The headline trailing yield of 14.08% looks extraordinary on the surface. But the forensic reality is that the company recently reported a net loss at the common shareholder level. That yield is not being funded by operating earnings. It is being distributed directly from prior period capital. Revenue has collapsed from $300 million to $100 million over 5 years. The 1-year total return sits at negative 62.4%. Compare this to a prime local bank like DBS, which earns its yield transparently from regulated net interest income. Yangzi Financial is an opaque investment holding vehicle heavily exposed to Chinese private credit and real estate management, and the market prices that difference at a 39.4% discount to fair value. Now let us stress test that position forward. If Chinese credit conditions tighten by just 10%, you face immediate write-downs on non-performing assets, further compression of an already negative operating income line, and a probable dividend reduction or suspension. The price could fall toward the 19 to 20 Singapore cent range at a 20% portfolio weight. That is not a paper loss you absorb quietly at age 50. Cash flow health scores 2 out of 5. Growth health scores 1 out of 5. There is no earnings recovery visible in the numbers. Moving to your 15% allocation in Bausted. The capital appreciation story is real. You entered at 99.5 Singapore cents and the stock now trades at 2 Singapore dollars and 32 cents. The balance sheet is exceptionally clean, with a gearing ratio of 3.70% and an interest coverage ratio of 42.2 times. But here is the problem. Your normalized forward dividend yield is only 2.50%. That fails not just the 4.7% hurdle, it fails even my 3.2% forensic flaw. The higher trailing yield from last year was an illusion created by a non-recurring special dividend. Baseline recurring income is closer to 6 Singapore cents per share annually. Net income is expected to drop this year. So what does Bosted actually represent at this price? At 2 Singapore dollars and 32 cents, this is no longer a yield instrument. It is a capital gains hold sitting at 84.7% of its investing pro fair value of 2 Singapore dollars and 74 cents. Capital earning 2.50% is dead weight for a 50-year-old building a retirement income runway. The same allocation into a prime industrial REIT offering organic yield between 5.5 and 6.0% would generate meaningfully more income from the same capital base. Bosted was an excellent entry. The question now is what role it serves going forward. And at current yield, it is not a retirement income anchor. Sembcorp is where this audit gets serious. Your 15% holding sits squarely in Zone 5 red zone due to 3 simultaneous hard gate failures. You entered at 6 Singapore dollars and 10 cents. The stock now sits virtually flat at 6 Singapore dollars and 14 cents. 4 years of holding and near zero capital appreciation, while the balance sheet has deteriorated significantly underneath you. The forward yield of 4.10% fails the 4.7% hurdle. Last year's spike to 6.86% was a temporary distribution anomaly, not a structural re-rating. Gearing has ballooned to 52.84%, nearly 18 percentage points above my hard ceiling of 35% and deep inside Zone 5 territory. And here is what makes it worse. The interest coverage ratio has deteriorated to 2.5 times, well below the safe floor of 4 times. Sembcorp took on this heavy debt load through aggressive acquisitions, including the Alinta deal that triggered an institutional downgrade, while revenue contracted for 3 consecutive years, falling from 7.8 billion Singapore dollars in financial year 2023 to 5.8 billion Singapore dollars in financial year 2025. If rates rise by just 100 basis points, the annual interest bill on 9.74 billion Singapore dollars of total debt expands significantly, pushing the interest coverage ratio closer to the Zone 5 structural failure threshold of 2 times, and there is no valuation cushion to absorb that risk. You entered at 6 Singapore dollars and 10 cents. The stock sits at 6 Singapore dollars and 14 cents, 6.6% above its investing pro fair value of 5 Singapore dollars and 76 cents. Zero retirement grade income, zero capital protection, zero valuation margin of safety. Now to the one genuine bright spot in this audit, your 10% allocation to Yangzijiang Shipbuilding represents one of the cleaner examples of retail investor timing in this entire audit series. You entered at 97 Singapore cents. The stock now trades at 3 Singapore dollars and 78 cents, a 289% capital gain. The balance sheet is fortress grade, gearing of 9.79% and an interest coverage ratio of 77.3 times, meaning the company holds substantially more cash than interest-bearing debt. The 5.08% dividend yield clears the 4.7% hurdle cleanly. There is a substantial maritime order book underpinning the thesis through the global shipping cycle. Investing pro fair value sits at 4 Singapore dollars and 48 cents, an 18.5% forensic upside remaining at the current price. Cash reserves backstop the dividend through any single year earnings dip every hard gate passes. But here's the structural flaw this position exposes. Your strongest forensic holding carries your smallest portfolio weight. Your weakest positions carry the most. Position sizing is where this portfolio is failing you most. Here is the valuation picture across all 4 positions side by side. Yangzijiang Financial trades at a 39.4% discount to fair value. But that discount reflects deep uncertainty, not hidden opportunity given the loss-making earnings base. Bosted sits at 84.7% of fair value, with 18.1% upside, medium uncertainty. Sembcorp is the only position trading above its intrinsic value, 6.6% above fair value with no margin of safety. And Yangzijiang Shipbuilding retains 18.5% forensic upside at the current price. Your best valued position is your smallest allocation. Your most structurally dangerous position is the only one trading above fair value. Holding Sembcorp at 6 Singapore dollars and 14 cents above fair value, carrying 9.74 billion Singapore dollars in debt, earning only 2.5 times its interest bill, is like renting a hawker stall at peak Orchard Road rates to sell economic bihun. The gross margin cannot support the overhead. The business might survive, but it is not compounding your wealth. It is simply servicing its own debt while you wait. At 50, your capital cannot afford to be the one funding someone else's acquisition strategy. The red flags inside these high-yielding traps are often completely visible before the capital damage occurs. Iggy's elite investors track these movements with zero-day forensic breakdowns and our complete institutional red zone watchlist before the free versions drop. Sign up using the link below to protect your retirement runway. The red flags inside these high-yielding traps are often completely visible before the capital damage occurs. Iggy's elite investors get zero-day forensic breakdowns, the full red zone watchlist, and institutional-grade cheat sheets. The numbers when the setup is actually live, not after the window has closed. For $9 a month, that is less than a Kopi and Kaya toast set at Raffles Place. Stop being the exit liquidity, start being the analyst. Let us bring the forensic picture together. Livelifefreely's Yangjiang shipbuilding entry at 97 Singapore cents was genuinely well-timed, one of the cleaner retail investor calls in this audit series. The instinct was right, but that instinct has not been applied consistently across the rest of the portfolio. 3 of the 4 audited positions fail forensic standards. 60% of the audited capital is below the yield floor, carrying Zone 5 leverage or paying dividends from a deteriorating earnings base.
Running this portfolio at 50 is the equivalent of running a 32-year-old's risk architecture without the 32-year-old's recovery runway. There is no margin for error here. The combined 30% exposure to the broader Yangjiang ecosystem creates acute corporate contagion risk. A credit squeeze or global trade softening hits both the financial and the shipbuilding names simultaneously from 2 different directions. And Sembcorp sits on top of all of that. 3 years of revenue decline, an interest coverage ratio of 2.5 times, and gearing at 52.84%, a profile that does not belong at 15% weight, regardless of the utility sector's reputation for stability.
The forensic health grade for this portfolio is grade D. 60% of audited capital fails the yield floor. The second largest named position fails 3 hard gates simultaneously. The largest position is distributing capital from a loss-making base, and the one clean pass carries the smallest weight. Investment instinct exists in this portfolio. The architecture does not protect it. The single structural pivot required is simple, even if executing it takes discipline. Stop letting your best idea sit at 10% while your problem positions sit at 20 and 15. Yangjiang Shipbuilding has a clean balance sheet, a yield above the hurdle, and genuine fair value upside. It deserves a larger anchor weight. The positions bleeding capital through leverage, yield distortion, and earnings deterioration deserve less of it. Rebalancing toward your strongest forensic holding while systematically reducing your weakest ones is not complex. It is the disciplined application of what the numbers are already telling you. 3 specific actions to consider. First, enforce a 25% single group cap across the combined Yangjiang ecosystem. Current exposure is 30% and the contagion risk between the 2 names is real. Second, build a forensic exit framework for Sembcorp. Monitor for gearing improvement back toward 40% or an interest coverage ratio recovery toward 3.5 times. An exit on your own terms rather than the markets. Third, deploy freed capital into retirement-grade anchors. Yield above 4.7%. Gearing below 35%, interest coverage ratio above 4 times. Zone 1 financial blue chips and prime logistics Singapore REITs. This portfolio sits in Zone 4 caution for the accumulator and is not suitable in its current form for the drawdown investor. For accumulation, only the Yangjiang shipbuilding position meets the conditional standard. The remaining 3 positions require forensic remediation before fresh capital is added. For transition and drawdown, the portfolio is not suitable. 3 hard gate failures across 45% of audited capital, and no position currently meeting the full Zone 1 or Zone 2 criteria required for reliable drawdown phase income. I am Iggy, forensic investor, ranked 8th on Tiger Brokers among Singapore retail investors, and your guide through the SGX market jungle. If you want the full breakdown before the free version drops, Iggy's elite investors get 0-day access, link in the description. This content is produced for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I am a retail investor who applies forensic analysis to my own portfolio and shares that process publicly. Nothing here constitutes a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security, and no specific target prices or personalized financial advice are offered. All data is sourced from public filings and verified sources. Where data is unverified, it is explicitly flagged. All investments carry risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. If you are making investment decisions involving CPF, SRS, or personal capital, please conduct your own due diligence or consult a mass licensed financial advisor before committing funds.